I stand with Eva.
I stand with Eva.
Do you know that in Zambia, young people serving their mother's sentences are the most vulnerable?
The Eva Chavala Foundation is an initiative that was formed in 2012 in Zambia. Its aim to look after disadvantaged and vulnerable children that the legal system has left behind.
Prison reform.
I stand with Eva because every child deserves a full chance to maximize their potential, irrespective of the mistakes their parents have made. I stand with Eva because we will not forget the children of the incarcerated and what impact this has on their lives.
Studies have shown that children whose mothers are sent to prison are more likely than their peers to have future problems. These include criminal offending, mental health problems, and drug and alcohol addictions.
Collaboration and unity are the way forward. I stand with the Eva Chabala Foundation.
So Online Radio stands with Eve.
There is power in collaboration. So Online Radio stands with Eva Chabala Foundation Trust.
We at So Online Radio stand with Eva.
He gave wings to birds by simply speaking words. He gave the sun a place to call its home. He sits upon the throne. He makes servants as his sons. He calls the hearts of those he loves his home. My God is a warrior. 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 He caused the sun to stand and Jericho to fall. His word alone will stand when all is gone. His blood has opened doors that enemies had closed. He took the keys of death to be his own. My God is a warrior. 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 He makes the slave be free and troubled hearts at peace. He grants the breath of life to piles of saints. He comforts those who weep, a champion of the weak, the shelter that we seek when we are lost. Oh, my God is a warrior. My God is a warrior. Oh, my God is a warrior. My God is a warrior. And I'm waiting, though as I
Welcome to the Weekend Unlocked show right here on Soul 9 Radio, and we are live on Facebook and as well as on YouTube channel, that is Soul 9 Radio, on our YouTube channel. As well as not forgetting that wherever you are in the world, you can still catch us on radio, and that is at Soul 9 Radio. Make sure you download the app on Google Store, and Apple Store as well. We are well covered for you, and the best entertainment comes from the UK and of course from Soul 9 Radio. I've got my guest, and like we promised, we'll be bringing Abel Chungu. We've brought in different artists on the Weekend Unlocked show. We've brought in Dreams, aka Bashilota. The other week we had the Dope Boys last year. We closed the show the year with Dope Boys, and of course with many other artists as well. But a lot of people were saying, why not bringing gospel artists? So I said, no, I've got somebody, but stay tuned, because it all works with time, and you have to work with their schedules, because these busy guys, they're always up and down. But COVID-19 has also been another thing that has affected a lot of entertainment industry, as well as us DJs who are not able to have gigs and all that stuff. But as usual, Soul 9 Radio is well covered for you. In the meantime, I would just like to make sure that you guys are set to talk to Abel Chungu. I'll bring him on, and then he will just say hi, and then after that we'll play one more song from him, and then we give it all to you. Abel Chungu, welcome to Soul 9 Radio.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm very, very good, and it's good to have you on our show tonight. I'm really excited. Yeah, I was looking forward for this show. You can say hi to the viewers and the listeners that are following us on radio.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Look, very excited to be here. I was practicing my accent, but anyway.
You know what? I've got a lot to talk with you today, so we're gonna have a good time. Trust me.
All right.
All right, there you have it. That is Abel Chungu. I don't know. Abel, Abel.
My mother says Abel, but I say Abel. So
Abel, yeah.
So she trumps it. She wins because she named me. So she's the one who named me. So I'm like, alright, but I'm like, I'm still sneaking an Abel. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. In case you didn't
either
know,
one works.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, Abel Chungu is a gospel artist. He's a hip hop gospel artist. Am I right?
Hey, hip hop, R&B, if you have some more rock, you hear some rock music. I'm just an all-round artist. I just love being an artist. Yeah.
Exactly. And we are also about to unveil another talent that is got. But anyway, I'm not gonna say much because we've got a lot to talk about. In the meantime, stay tuned.
Okay.
woman who makes them feel Superman stronger with them tonight. Raise up your hand if that's you. Ah, I see. Uganda, I love you. Please give me a plot here so I can just move.
Superman stronger, I guess so. I've been encouraged with that song. Just the look of the performance.
Forgot about that one.
I know, right? We always take it back. That's why this show is called The Weekend Unlocked. We unlock everything that you've hidden. Brilliant. So welcome once again. I would like to welcome you to the Weekend Unlocked show, and of course, I'm your host, yours truly, DJ Kauzy, the superstar, the strong man. That's a new one for everything. All right, let's quickly, let's quickly talk about the background of Abel Chungu. Walk us through, with your journey in the music industry.
Man, where do I even start? That's like, the first time I entered the studio was I was about 13, and big shout out to my older brother Damien for that. It took me to, but the first time I ever I was supposed to release an album in 2007.
Yeah.
And we've been recording with Mag 44, Ian, still same guys I still do music with today. But at the time I was also recording with a guy called Taz and at his studio, Goemi Studios. But then 2007, I moved to the States for Bible college. When I came back, I started again, reconnected with Mag 44 and Ian, and we started saying, it's like, okay, guys, let's work on a new album. And we started. It took a few years, but then we dropped the first project in December of 2012, which is Worship of the Love Revolutionary.
Yeah.
And then in 2014, I dropped another album called Love Unleashed.
Yeah.
And then in 2015, we dropped another album, but this was a deluxe to Love Unleashed. So this was called Love Unleashed the Deluxe. And so then in 2018, we dropped the final project, Love Revolution. So all of them were part of a vision that I had from 2008 to drop Love Revolution, but they were all a continuous build up to that final project. So it was about a 10-year project in what I was working on to get to, and so relieved in 2018. I thought I was done with music. I was like, okay, God, you gave me this vision. I think it's a wrap.
Okay.
Then I think it was actually a shift. I didn't know it was actually a shift. It was a change. So then a friend of mine, so I'd already announced that it was my last album in 2018.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine, shout out to Mikael Mumba, sends me a video clip of somebody in the back seat of a car, and the guy driving is playing one of my songs, We On Fire, featuring Tasha.
Yeah.
And then he's asking the guys, like, Abel Chungu? And the guy's like in a very thick Arabic accent, like, I love Abel Chungu. He's a very, very good artist. Great Abel Chungu. So he's like, bro, do you know where that is? I'm like, no, I have no idea. He's like, bro, that's Iraq. It's like they're bumping your music in Iraq. He says, man, I don't know who you're trying to stop for, but you better not stop. But I think what I just needed to do was just rediscover and find out what the next vision was. So now, after like 2 years of searching and creating and what we're working on now, so now we're working towards a new project called Kingdom.
Okay.
And Kingdom. So that's the new vision. So I've been sitting on some music for the last 2 years. I'm not in any rush. I'm just like, because it took me 10 years to build up to the last one. Exactly. I think it's I'm very patient about what I do. I always want something that has that is unforgettable, that is that will, even years from now, you still look through the lyrics and say, is this what he actually said? Wow. And so and just to create that impact of what God wants me to do during my time while I'm here and for this generation. So
amazing. You spoke about when you were in America, you went to Bible college. Did you go there? Most of people that I know, when you hear somebody's he's at a Bible college, after they come from there, all we're gonna hear is Pastor Chungu, Pastor this. Nah. So what about yourself? Man of God,
let
exactly.
your hands now and receive.
Exactly. So tell us about that. How was
man?
What was how did you get into the Bible college? Something that
So
people say it's a calling.
Yeah.
But eventually we have Abel Chungu who went to a Bible school, but we've never seen that title of him being called a pastor or a bashma paper. You know what I mean?
So please do not ever call me pastor. I'm always correcting. Like Pastor Abel, no.
You said
even
no
when
to
I served for my church. Yeah. Because I worked in what I studied was youth ministry, and youth ministry was amazing. And I remember one of my lecturers even saying, he says, when you study youth ministry, they're never going to treat you like a real pastor. And I was very much okay with that because the thing is, why I even decided then that I was never going to use a title is because I had seen what titles sometimes do to people. It breaks down the barrier of people actually feeling like they can relate with you. Shout out to all the pastors but sometimes growing up in Africa, that when someone holds doctor, bishop, you know what I'm saying? It's people then create the environment for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people know how to act for you. It's like when people go to church. I'm already dressed up in my church clothes, so I'm ready to, when I show up for the pastor, you know what I'm saying? I'm well spoken. I'm good. So I'll pick my best outfit often. That's what happens. But I started on evangelism, on street evangelism. So I love the fact that people will shoot me straight and ask me real questions. People will tell me if they don't believe what I'm saying. And that was so from the gangs in North Tulsa to down to the places that would go to, made so many friends with gangbangers and different people like that, where the gospel is real. When I got back here, we would start evangelism in North Mid as well. There was a lot of clubs there, a lot of prostitutes, a lot of people that we would have real one-on-one conversations. And I've always in my life valued that, to be able to talk to someone on a one-on-one, and so they can speak their mind. I think it's often different in the church when you're sharing a sermon and there's hundreds of people. Somebody's like, I don't believe a word he's saying. They can't say it. But but youth ministry taught me one thing. It was how to relate to a generation, how to talk to the culture. And so even this project Kingdom is basically built on who are we within the culture, because the culture is constantly changing, and the culture often will tell a different story away from who Christ is. Even some church cultures are nothing to do with Jesus. It's just basic traditions we've carried on and said, well, this is the way we do things, and we won't accept it any other way. And so this album is to kind of basically restore people's hearts and understanding of that there is a place for you in God's kingdom, that you could be a DJ, you could be a janitor, you could be a taxi driver, you could be and not feel that you're not serving God in any capacity because you're not in a church building. So this is what this project is about, to understand that God cares at every aspect of our lives. So it's a lot to think about and understand what I'm trying to put into it. It takes time, and so that by the time it's done, people will be blessed. So I've never used a title. From the time I graduated, I've said I'm never going to use a title, because I'm not anyone's pastor. I'm just a child of God. I'm really honest. I served under the title of youth director for my church for about 2 years after I came back. But I'm very much okay with being able, and just everything I've done, from my philanthropy, humanitarian work to thing, has just been as able. My music is just as able. It's okay. You don't have to call me psalmist or minister Abel. I'm very much okay with just being called Abel. Yeah.
Okay. So now I want to understand something concerning you going into the Bible school. Was it something that you've always grown up to say, I want to learn about the word, or I want to be, I won't say a pastor, but an evangelist? Is it something that you saw when you were growing up? As some of us were like, oh, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this, I want to be that, but it ended up not being what it is at the moment. But we'll find out on the other side as we are still talking to Abel Chungu. Short break and we'll be right back.
My God is a warrior. I'm running towards forever, where we will be together, and all the fears I have about my life will fade away. I'm running towards forever, where everything is better. My sins won't be remembered, but a crown for me awaits. I'm running towards forever. Somebody asked me, does my God cry for every soul that never slips into the great light? I had to wonder cause I'm standing at these front lines, and all these people seem focused on a good time. Story of the prodigal son with a bad twist, holding on to empty nothings with his clenched fist, cause he done squandered everything that he was blessed with, and now he's walking these streets with this last clip like, is it them on me? Is it them on me? Known fearfully the one that I would D.I.E. I fall asleep on this tears on this bed I sleep. I wonder how in the world did I fall this deep? So to God I speak, show mercy please. I done lost all my willpower, I'm just too weak. But if the Bible holds truth of every word you speak, then I know my last request certified my peace. I'm running, but every part of my body be telling me to give him. But I guess this is a life that I chose, so I gotta live it. While everybody rooting for me to keep it 100, but I can't. I'm trying to reach where my grace is, and hoping that the race tries to recognize the nameless. Freaks for that Jesus, that's how they introduce us. But if they really knew us, they'll say that we the heathens. Yeah, them born sinners, yeah, them born sinners. Only so far you can run away, my brother. Come and taste the love that's sweeter than the mother's. Wrap it in the arms, more deeper than the lovers. Oh, we the future, oh, we gon' reach ya. Born of the spirit, the flesh out to get ya. None can be better than those he made better, to speak truth of the lover that lives on forever.
Your cloud, as the sun now shines through, go and tell your people Jesus has no equal. Look up at your cloud, as the sun now shines through, go and tell your people Jesus has no equal. Look up at your cloud, as the sun now shines through, go and tell your people Jesus has no equal. I'm running towards forever, we will be together, and all the fears I have about my life will fade away. I'm running towards forever, where everything is better. My sins won't be remembered, but a crown for me away. I'm running towards forever. Oh, apati chefeko ngoma tipakise kusamagumana tizasungana
Chetanyeko
Ijafikatana Oh, apati chefeko ngoma tipakise kusamagumana tizasungana
Chetanyeko
Ijafikatana nokukunyana
Tusambe kuminwe ishitane shitamwe abantu
Together we can, together we will
Fight Corona.
Let's not panic, together we'll
Kuzisunganie makwala
Atwi kusamba kumaza chinjisha mse You and I together we'll overcome and win
Support no hand sanitizer Kuyibonfe wine tube wise Practice physical distancing Will I hugging and ish can shim Amaboko sanfe regular Malule tade shidi kwepo ya Yale ipa abantu edges Avoid them crowded places
Together we will
Fight Corona.
Let's not panic, together we'll
Kine kyonse samova kumaboko
Amor wako na You and I together will overcome and win.
If you think you have symptoms of the coronavirus disease or have questions on it, call the helpline on 909. To avoid getting infected and giving the virus to others, wash your hands regularly with soap and water properly. Let's stop handshakes for now. Find other ways to greet. If you have a cough, please cough into a flexed elbow. Yes, you can get infected, whether Zambian, African or not. Whether Matauni, or Kumunzi, Mumayadi, or Mukomboni, you can get infected, whether young or old. No one is invincible. We all need to take care.
You and I together.
K-Annie Music.
Anatiam sakudala Petikari chabebana Ukagozi chita wakuru bakuza Kuti mama na samalila Ulimbira kunikuskuru Pressure singa kale excuse Ukaperuka ni chimutu wanani alibenzeru Mama na samalila Peza konchito panga nyumba Faka mama dampanga banja Bali bonse ni my pressure Don't ever be a letdown Mamuna samalila Kuma mutima uli ash Chibaba Isaka sila liti Chifuga konze kwa naenda Nakumo kuniuza Kuti mamuna samalila Ash Chibaba Isaka sila liti Chifuga konze kwa naenda Nakumo kuniuza Kuti mamuna samalila Mamona 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 samalila Atate wake pewa nafa Konzebe nabo mupuzika They simply told him you're the man Now you got to make a plan now Mamuna samalila Mamuna funika ndalama Becoming everyone's provider Your happiness is not an option Beauty is your function now Mamuna samalila Umutima muli built anger I take a substance to be substandard I wish I really knew what a real man is But I'll be praising God cause I'm still standing Yeah Ash, Chibaba Isaka sila liti Chifuga konza kwa naenda Nakumo kuniuza Kuti mamona samalila Ash, Chibaba Isaka sila liti Chifuga konza kwa naenda Nakumo kuniuza Kuti mamona samalila Samalila, Mamona 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 Samalila. This is the return of the prince. Glory to the crown of the king. You're witnessing the rise of a kingdom. Let every chain be broken. This is the return of the prince. Glory to the crown of the king. You're witnessing the rise of a kingdom. Let every chain be broken. This is the return of the prince. Glory to the crown of the king. You're witnessing the rise of a kingdom. Let every chain be broken. Lila, Lila, Lila. Let every chain be broken. Nayambira kudala petikali chabeba na manje mufunika kuziva. Mamona Maria.
Mwamuna Samalila. Hey, bati nani Malila? Yeah, hati Mwamuna Malila na Eve. Simwamene. Can you hear me? Oh, we've lost the sound from we've lost the sound there. Can you hear me? Hello. All right, we've lost the sound there. We'll be right back on the other side.
I stand with Eva.
I stand with Eva.
You know that in Zambia, young people serving their mother's sentences are the most vulnerable.
The Eva Chavala Foundation is an initiative that was formed in 2012 in Zambia. Its aim to look after disadvantaged and vulnerable children that the legal system has left behind.
Prison reform.
I stand with Eva because every child deserves a full chance to maximize their potential, irrespective of the mistakes their parents have made. I stand with Eva because we will not forget the children of the incarcerated and what impact this has on their lives.
Studies have shown that children whose mothers are sent to prison are more likely than their peers to have future problems. These include criminal offending, mental health problems, and drug and alcohol addictions.
Collaboration and unity are the way forward. I stand with the Eva Chavala Foundation.
So Online Radio stands with Eve.
There is power in collaboration. So Online Radio stands with Eva Chavala Foundation Trust.
We at So Online Radio stand with Eva.
Why something beautiful got to go?
Hello. We're back again. We are having a little problem with the connection, but the internet will not defeat us. We are able to defeat it. Can you hear me, my brother? Oh, okay. So it's my side. Okay, it's my side. Let me do this.
Why something beautiful got to go and become so ugly? Why would you build me up if you knew that you gonna destroy me? I'm not invincible. Please don't lift me if you gon' watch me fall. Then come back and don't call it love. Call it love. Why is it the ones that we love but the ones that will hurt you? Why stay together forever, don't want separation? My heartbeat, flatline cause you did me nasty. Switching phone lines, so my friends never asked me why they wanna love, say they no longer want me. Memories, I don't wanna go there. Family, giving me a cold stare like it's not fair, baby, it's not fair. I tell you take care, but my heart can't bear. From going non-stop, now we in a court box. Rising to the top, always there to hold ya. Never let you drop, always there to hold ya. Now you wanna talk like you never felt love. Why something beautiful got to go and become so ugly? Why would you build me up if you knew that you were gonna destroy me? I'm not invincible. Please don't lift me if you gon' watch me fall. Then come back and go call it love. Call it love. Ladies and gentlemen, J-Rocks.
To break up and to make up is a thing that she keeping in the open. You write a story with a pencil while I keep on tracing with the bobbin. A lot of gossip that's in the air since the flower blossom. It's kind of funny cause we used to be an awesome. Now I picture nothing but a caution. I thought by now we get the flowing like a you bring me up and put me on fire and pour me water. No need back up a wire. Liar, liar, langa wapaya. Watenga mutima waenda wataya. Liar, 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 liar.
Yeah. Why something beautiful got to go and become so ugly? Why would you build me up if you knew that you were gonna destroy me? I'm not invincible. Please don't lift me if you gon' watch me fall.
Can we see the hands in the air?
Then come back and go call it love.
Let's go.
Call it love.
Yeah.
I said call it love. Call it love. Yeah.
You bend me up and put me on fire and pour me water. Back up a wire. Liar, liar, langa wapaya. Watenga mutima waenda wataya. Liar, 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 liar.
Why something beautiful got to go and become so ugly? Why would you build me up if you knew that you were gonna destroy me? I'm not invincible. Please don't lift me if you gon' watch me fall. Then come back and go call it love. Give it up for J-Rocks.
Thank you.
Kalandanya Music Promotions.
Mask up, mask up. Mask up, mask up. People are dancing and clapping and hugging. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. People are dancing and clapping and hugging. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. People are dancing and clapping and hugging. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. People are dancing and clapping and hugging. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Mask up, mask up. Keep a social distance. Mask up, mask up. Always remember to wash your hands. Wash your hands. We've lost so many friends and loved ones. So keep a social distance. Social distance. Always keep your mask on. Always keep your mask on. Osati kuposha mumanja. Don't trust yourself and your neighbor. Don't be overtaken by wrong information. Don't allow yourself to be a victim of those spreading lies. And you and I can make a difference. You and I can stop the spread. No need to give a hug up with that little peck on the cheek. Oh, mask up, mask up. Oh, mask up, mask up.
Sanitize, wash your hands very often. Kuposha posha ya iwanu mitakaze. This thing is very real. People are dying still. So let us stay in.
Welcome back, and a big apology for that. And as you know, we are dealing with the internet. It's a new world, so you never know what's going to happen. But we are back on track again, and big shout out to everybody that is listening. Twin M, the Prince says, Abel and Kauzy, we are enjoying the show. But why today, when we have our own gospel artist? The network problem, where the devil is a liar. Amen to that. The devil is a liar. Amen to that. Classic Michael. And Charity says, hey. and Charity says, we are enjoying the show. Thank you, DJ Kauzy Superstar. All right. Okay, we're back on track now. We were talking about, Abel Chungu being a pastor, but he said he doesn't want to be called a pastor. And I was asking him a question to say, what drove you, or rather what was driving you when, as you were growing up? Did you have this on your mind to say, I want to be an evangelist or, a pastor? But in this case, you said you don't want to be a pastor and you don't want to be called a pastor. So did you think, or did you see yourself to be an evangelist?
Being was going to happen when I was age 60. Because I always thought ministry is something that people do when they're old and retired, and so that people can listen to them.
Yes.
My experience was I was in Livingston about 2.
The network is getting jealous there.
A friend of mine, Michael, had invited me to. So sorry about that. Somebody's trying to reach me. So a friend of mine, Michael, had called me and said, "Hey, let's go to Livingston. We're gonna do this evangelism trip." So I said, "Okay, great." We got there, and on one of the nights, they said, "Oh, we're gonna go and evangelize to the prostitutes." They're like, no, it'd be nice, you carry your guitar. So they said, you should carry your guitar, come join us. And I said, okay, I'll see. So on one night, I decided to So on one night, I decided, okay, you know what? I'm gonna come with you guys.
Yeah.
So I'd gone to a store to buy some airtime at the time, and there was a girl who was, of course, doing her thing on the street. And I walked out and we started a conversation. So I didn't know how to evangelize. I didn't know how to tell her about Christ. So I said, would you sit down with me? So we sat by a bus station. It was around 22 hours. And I said, can I just play you a song? She goes, yeah. So I started to sing this song just from my heart. It was just a freestyle song, but it was just talking about God's love and his care. And she started to cry. and I said, "Would you like to receive Jesus in your heart?" She said, "Yes," and we prayed. And I remember that feeling, that emotion, that I'd never felt anything like that before. And I remember praying to God after I'd left, she had left, and I'd let and gone back to work with the guys. And I said, God, I want to feel like this every day of my life. And He said, "You will. That's why I'm sending you to ministry." And that was God's word. Over time, I've learned. Another experience I had was with I was singing in church, and I came out of church, and I remember a man called Mr. Edward Miranda said, "You're a worshiper." And I said, "What's that?" He says, "Most times when people sing, you can tickle people's emotions, but your music is meant to draw people's hearts to God." And I have known that for a long time. Like my music, even the songs that people think, "Oh, is this a gospel song?" When you hear a love song, the whole purpose and the intent of that is basically to draw people's hearts to God, to show people that God cares about you in every situation, even in your love life. And that is and there's nothing that makes people feel whole or what than to have people around them that love them. So yeah, the this has been a journey, but like I said, I've never, for me, the only admiration or the image that I admire more than anything else, so that is Jesus. Because at the end of the day, in life, people try to make too many statues. We're trying to build too many statues. We're trying to create too many heroes out of flawed individuals. I think we're starting to see it in this generation. There's a wave of so many things, so many disappointments, so many people that were like, "Oh, but that person," and I always just come back and say, "But they were people. They were just people. They are always just people. They're ordinary people doing extraordinary things." And some of us, we just don't believe that we could do those things. So we put so many people in high regard. But I think the center and the focus should always just be back on Christ for me. Yeah, that's the best I can honestly say. That's why I admire evangelism and pushing the gospel of Jesus and nothing else.
Okay. No, it can actually, that is my own view, and it's only coming from my point of view. I think, listening to your music, I think when you listen to your music, it's just that kind of different music that isolates yourself, and, you get attached to it, and you want to meditate upon it every time you listen to it.
Yeah.
And, I fell in love with one of your songs, which I think that is the time I knew that, okay, there's Abel Chungu. You'd listen to certain music, but you'd be like, okay, somebody's playing. But when I heard that song, oh my god,
DJ,
oh my god, I was like, God,
I should have vocals, hey.
That song. I know, right? So that song, I used to play it. It was my ringtone, and I used to vibe on it every time and again. I'll be like, wow.
Yeah,
I know. And then somebody told me this guy is a gospel artist. I'll be like, wow, really? Because it was a love song, and people didn't know that, you as a gospel artist, you can always minister love, because God is love.
There's people still don't believe it up to now.
Exactly.
People are like, why? But why? And that's why I say, like, that's why even at the beginning I said, there's so many traditions that we practice that are really have nothing to do with God. That's not, I mean, even if you want to approach it from is it a Christian, is it biblical? There's a whole entire book, songs of Solomon. Imagine if I wrote a song from his lyrics, bro. I mean, people would say he's gone overboard. Solomon was a very explicit guy in that track.
I tell you.
In those songs, I'm like, my G, who's playing backup for you, man? Earth,
so
Wind,
let me
and
ask
Fire?
you a question. So do you actually get your lyrics from songs of Solomon?
No. I'm not that brave. I'm not that brave.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? That was the wisest man. He knew how to get away with it.
Oh my goodness!
But hopefully we'll not be too religious to a point where we miss the importance. I've felt the importance of my love songs come in a generation at a time when, there was a statistic that was dropped. I think we had about 63,000 divorces in the last couple of years in Zambia, and people were very shocked. And I said, when you hear some of the love songs that I make, I say, because we've been pushing this notion that love songs are a worldly thing.
Yeah.
So in a very important place, now let's look at a family. How is a family started? His family always starts with two people falling in love, or two people coming together.
Yeah.
And so if we don't tell people that God is there, even in your dating phase, then when do we tell them God shows up? At the altar? No. Love songs, we play them at the altar, and that's why even when you hear the song called "Extra Time," basically talking. It's a person who's single saying, "Hey, I want to make a commitment. I want to do something long term. I don't want to play any games. Are you willing to walk with me there?" And
I feel sorry to cut you short. On Extra Time, I feel that song, I feel like you've got a testimony behind that song. We'll talk about that. Continue.
You want to hear it? Oh boy.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
All right, cool. You'll get to hear it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or you want to hear it now?
Charity.
Oh man.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Charity, how you doing?
Yeah.
Great. We had an interview with her just not too long ago.
Okay,
Great
yeah,
person.
well, the time she was in Zambia. Yeah, no, like you, just continue where you stopped from, where I stopped you from, actually, yeah.
So, so, with Extra Time, it's about, two people coming to the end of, I'm a big football fan. I'm a Madrid fan, and we know what it's like when when it's a stalemate, and nobody's winning, or you're down, you're losing. That 90 minutes is up. That guy comes on the sideline and says 2 minutes left. You know how a team plays at that point. It's do or die.
Yeah, it's a dying moment.
So what the song is basically saying is that it's do or die. Like love is do or die. Love is not when you have the mindset of, well, we've got all the time in the world. Love is, let's put everything out there. Let's give our best. And if we lose, at least we lose knowing that we did everything that we could. You know what I'm saying? And we put in our best to win. So that's what Extra Time is really all about. And when I write these songs, it's amazing. Like I remember one time I was at the mall. I just about to jump out my car, and this lady runs up to me. She goes, "Thank you so much." I said, "For what?" She goes, "That song." And she goes, "Extra Time has saved my marriage."
Wow.
And she said, "Extra Time has saved my marriage." Yeah. I didn't get the details about what happened. But I don't. Yeah.
I would say women are they're very smart, should I say? They always want to bring in something that they'll play it. Unknowingly they'll just play it. You're there home, you're reading your newspaper, you're busy on your phone.
I'm telling you.
I quarreled with my wife yesterday. Why is she playing this song? And then if you listen to the message again, it's not the message that will drive you away, but it's the message that will bring you close to say, okay, I think this song has a point. And I can sit down with my wife and say, look, I know we have the differences, and let's put them together and forge ahead. That's a really good song, trust me. Yeah.
Thank you. And because it relates to both male and females, knowing that if you've ever heard of Dr. Gary Chapman's The 5 Love Languages, and you find women's love languages, quality time is a very high love language for women. So they relate with that in the fact of it being extra time, as in that.
I'm actually having a lesson with my pastor on that with my wife.
That's good.
Exactly. That's a book we're reading. Yeah.
That's good. That's awesome. It's a dope book. It's a really nice book. Yeah. But there's also something that I inserted in the song that a lot of people don't know, which you could also find in Mwamuna Samalina. A friend of mine, good friend of mine, Pastor Tatenda, once told me, he says, loyalty for a man is protection of his weakness. And loyalty for a woman is feeling like she's the only one.
Yeah.
Which is why I included that first line in the song. If I told you my weakness, would you keep it a secret?
Yeah.
Is because when you find the suicide rate of men, when you find why it's extremely high, is because we don't really find an opportunity of expression, but not only just an opportunity of expression, it's just the fact that we don't have a lot of people we trust. So most of the times, most men would complain about verbal abuse in their relationships, which is the reason why many of us go into depression. Either relationships with mostly, oftentimes, either in their jobs or the women in our lives. So understanding, I know a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, men need to talk more," but the thing is, like, men are very selective of who they share their weakness with. So when a man chooses you and says, I'm gonna open up and I'm gonna tell you who I am, and and are you able to handle that?
Yeah.
It's a very important thing to be able to understand that responsibility. And if one is not able to handle that kind of responsibility, they should be able to say, you know what, I don't think I can do this. So it's very serious issues in this song, in this music, that it's not just a feel good play kind of song. So my lyrics, I really take time to think about everything from the spiritual aspect, or even just the soul aspect, and I think we make headway when you see the response of the testimonies. Yeah.
All right. So now, bumping into this lady that bumped into you and said thank you from nowhere. I want to talk about how do you handle the pressure from the fans, and if we talk about social life as well as family. But now, just to be specific, talking about your fans, how do you handle it? The pressure when you are in the public.
Yeah. So I think one of the hardest things, I mean, people always ask me, what are the things that I struggle with, or what are some of the hardest things that I face? I think it's between understanding or letting people know that you are not their property.
Yeah.
When we were making music, or when we started making music, especially when you start making music with a beat, you have the church side of the fans who are feeling because the churches are telling their youth or young people that you are the alternative to the world.
Yeah.
So you are the Christian fans' property. So Abel is for us. Abel should be singing at churches, should be singing at concerts, church conferences, only church people gatherings. Because you see, the thing is, especially when you get saved, people are saying, "Oh, you let go of the things of the world," and they mention, don't listen to this person or that artist or that, and then they'll say, "Listen to this," and you are that. You are the alternative. You are not a great artist. You're just the alternative artist.
Alternative. Okay.
So what we began to find out is the music we were making, or the music that I make, you find there are people out there who really love your music, but they're not churchgoers.
Yeah.
So the moment that group of people begin to accept, you start getting invites to places that people don't expect you to be. So I've done, Beer Fest. I've done Day of Thunder in front of 10,000 people. And when you see 10,000 people, we know over probably 70% with alcohol in their hands, but they're singing your songs word for word. And then at the end of the day, you do a prayer and the whole crowd is quiet praying with you.
I know.
It's amazing, but then you go to the church and people are like, "Oh, don't come here anymore because you were there."
You were there.
So it's been an experience of a lot of rejection. It's been an experience of a lot of times where you really also need, spiritual help and people just to be there with you, or you're feeling depressed, or you're going through issues, and everyone either is, assuming that everything is good in your life, or everyone is either, you're now no longer, even to people that were friends, you are now a topic of discussion because you are the more popular one. I've always said a human being's desire to feel accepted is their biggest desire, and you should never underestimate that.
Yeah.
So when you realize that, this person who you thought was really close to you, this person was saying this behind you, and then you realize, they were in a setting where they were pressured to find some way of acceptance. So you were there like, "Oh no, I know Abel, he's my friend," and then they'll say something. So it's the journey of being an artist, or becoming what people will say a successful artist. is a very rough terrain. You grow to come and understand yourself. You grow to come and understand why you're doing something, because everyone wants a piece of you. Everyone wants something about you. Everyone wants, to say you're theirs or you belong to this. And it reached a point where I had to just come and say, you know what, whatever you guys hear, whatever you believe it. But so that you can think the worst of me, so that when I come and preach the gospel and it touches your heart, you know that it's real, because you're hearing something really good from the worst person you can imagine.
Yeah.
And that's the way I saw, even when I read the Bible, I'm like, Jesus, you are letting Judas preach. In the book of John, it actually even says that they knew that he was stealing, but they're like, this dude is casting out demons. And so when God puts us on his list of people that he entrusts to do his will, it's not always that we're the best candidates. Sometimes it's just the fact of that we're willing to be there and we're willing to show up. And that's all I've just said to God. I said, allow me to, if you're gonna allow me to be there, and I'll show up when you need me. And so there are places the church won't, or people won't go, and I'll show up. I'm not the best person, but I'll show up. And I think that's why sometimes I'm there, because it's there are things I'll go out of my way for. I'll come back with a few arrows in my back. Some things will hurt. Some things I failed at, but at the end of the day, God knows I'll be there. I'll show up.
Awesome.
And that's really what it is about. What I've learned out of all of this. Yeah.
From the moment you started talking, I'll be like, okay, I need to make sure that he speaks what he has to speak, because at the end of the day, this is really deep. To be honest, this is really deep. It's not something to joke about. It's really deep, and we've got comments that are coming through. But before that, we'll take a short break. But let's read the comments, and then we'll jump into just one video song that is coming from you. So we have Mumba Chakulia. They are saying, love is do or die. You better preach it. All right.
Yeah.
That's Mumba Chakulia from Essex, United Kingdom. And we have Charity Pepuzani back again saying, so true, right? And then we have Classic Michael. Actually, Classic Michael is my brother. He's my older brother from Zambia. He's also a gospel. He's a hip hop. He's a hip hop and R&B gospel artist. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he says Psalms 37 verse 7 says, God always gives his best to those who leave the choice with him. Keep trusting God. People will always be people. Great work, Pastor Abel.
Thank you.
Classic Michael. Just for the sake of record, Abel said, don't call him Pastor. Say Abel.
It's just Abel.
Exactly.
It's just Abel, guys. Please spare me.
Yeah. And then Mumba Chakulia comes back and says, I am so loving this interview. The energy, the message, and the deeper connotation behind the music. I am here just happily learning. Doreen Mowa Maria. You know Doreen, isn't it?
Doreen, how are you doing?
That's big sister from South Africa, tuned in. Uncle Chungu, I love the Pamakufi song. It really ministers to me. We pray on our knees to show our complete and total submission to God's authority over us.
Amen.
Okay. Any other comments? DJ Blair Kauzy says, it's true, Kauzy. His music makes you stop and listen. Great voice and music. That's from DJ Blair Kami. We'll take a short break. Remember, we are still hanging out with Abel Chungu Musuka, and he's here with us until he has a lot to explain to us. But in the meantime, we'll take a short break. But do join us. Make sure you share this live video broadcast with your friends and family. Let them not miss out on this blessing that we have tonight on Soul 9 Radio. Depending on where you're catching us from, we are blessed and good to have you. Short break and we'll be right back.
He's a superstar. DJ Kauzy in the mix.
Mama kamba bananilowa, kozi pene katapalowa. Mama kamba bananilowa, kozi pene katapalowa.
While others are channel hopping, we have our listeners locked 24/7 on So Online Radio, your timeless station.
At the house 2020. At the house 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, London New Music Promotion. Somebody Bible to the contact. Don't misplace his name in the game, ladies and gentlemen.
No time zone is beyond us. This is So Online Radio, your station anywhere and time.
Let's go get him.
DJ Kauzy, the superstar in the mix.
Oh man, I trash, she said. Pretty kitty, love in a titty. I wanna get high and get paid. Shitty kitty, get paid. Oh man, I trash, she said. Pretty kitty, love in a titty. No strings attached when I get laid. Jago tonight we forget. Cake a kitty kitty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still hanging out with Abel Chungu on the Weekend Unlocked show right here on Soul 9 Radio. Make sure you download our app on Google Store and Apple Store as well. And don't forget to share this live broadcast with your friends and family. In case you've missed out, this is going to be available on our YouTube channel, that is Soul 9 Radio, and you can always catch up. But in the meantime, we are still hanging out with the most and talented man here, and that is Abel Chungu. He's a comedian, he's a musician. Hey, too many talents. Come on, man. Give me one. Give me one at least. He's an actor. Oh, God. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Yeah. So looking at the videos that we've been seeing, most of your videos, you always do live performance. I love live performance.
Yep.
We've seen many artists in Zambia that we've not seen as many artists as possible, like you, who've been doing live performances. Tell us about it. How do you manage? What does it take? What is your coordination? How do you do it?
Oh man, it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice. I've got a live performance tomorrow in the morning show, and we just spent 2.5, 3 hours practicing. So it's not something that you just wake up. I think at the end of the day, it's really all about perfection and doing and having a desire to do your best. And so I've grown up in the church. Many of us, especially, you find a lot of guys who are instrumentalists. Church is amazing at helping people nurture their talents. So I always encourage churches, like, walk with people all the way. You know what I'm saying? It's not everybody who is gifted to sing should sing in a choir. You know what I'm saying? Some people are called to sing in concerts and crowds and different people and make those people feel that they're part of the church. You know, so so it's just it's just one of those things that I've grown and nurtured, and I'm still growing. It's funny, like every year I find I have a new gift or I'm better than I was the year before. I'm better at writing than I have. So it's consistently growing gift.
Okay, so do you have a specific instrument that you like playing?
Guitar, though I'm trying to learn piano a bit. But the
So
thing
should I say a guitar is your favorite instrument?
A guitar is my favorite, and but I can honestly tell you, there's always somebody who's better than me. So
I know.
I don't, even when people tell me, "Do you know how to play guitar?" I'm like, kind of, because I know my guitarist. If I try to brag, he will laugh at me, and the guy who plays piano for me will laugh at me if I say I know piano. So I'm just always a student.
Okay. You know, music is always about learning. Each and every day you learn new things, because art is creativeness, you know, and creativeness or creativity goes on and on and on. Each and every day people are creating new things, you know.
Exactly.
So it's a learning process. Very, very interesting. All right. Okay. So now let's talk about your weaknesses. Do you have any weakness that is actively working on you, that you are actually working on in terms of music?
In terms of music, I mean, I'm trying to be a better vocalist and a more diverse songwriter. Is what I found, is I'm really trying to be a more diverse songwriter, because I think at the end of the day, music is constantly changing. One of the things anybody who's an artist who wants to stay long should always understand is the sound is consistently changing. The most I know I say this in a way because somebody was like, oh, what? Yeah, but the most deceptive thing that anyone can have, especially when they're a gospel artist, to assume that their music will always be loved, that gospel fans don't want you to change or stop. That's a lie. I always like to give an example of saying, if you hear Hillsongs is constantly changing their group. they're constantly changing their songwriters. The
Yeah.
title Hillsongs remain, but you find the people that originally started, Darlene Check, she's not there. A lot of people. So people are always looking for a modern sound. I've seen that happen. The difference between when you're a gospel artist is people always say things like, "Oh, you're anointed. God gave," you," which is very true. But even the Word of God asks us to sing a new song, which means we
Yeah.
have to learn something new all the time. So if you're consistently making the same kind of sound all the time,
Yeah.
you will find that your crowd is sneaking off or leaving and saying, "Ish, this thing is sounding repetitive," and they won't tell you because, hey, man, you're anointed, you're blessed, and then you'll find that I know, right? And then you'll find that where are all the fans, all the people that what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters in the Lord, you'll find people have disappeared, and maybe your music will be brought back later in a form of nostalgia, like, oh wow, I remember this song. Oh, it's so beautiful, it blesses our heart. But the thing that I always tell people is let the sound change, but the message remain the same.
Remain the same.
The
Okay.
God for me, the gospel is the message. Gospel is not a genre of music to me. To me
Yeah.
personally, the
Okay.
gospel should not be a genre of music where you can even tell that it's gospel from a mile
From
away.
a
You
miles
know what I'm
away.
saying?
When you
Yeah,
hear
like
somebody says
that's a
Jesus,
gospel.
oh Lord.
Come on, to my chords.
Yeah.
Even like that's a gospel song. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like I like to throw you off. I don't want you to predict and say, oh, that a gospel song just from the way it sounds. Nah, like you throw people off,
Yeah.
shake people off, shake people. You know what I'm saying? But then when they hear the content, the lyrical content, they'll be like, yo, because again, the sound will tell you what the generation is listening to.
He's listening to.
So
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
has the sound of the generation. I don't mind it changing, but remember that the message is never the same. Is never different. You know what I'm saying? Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So I don't have to dilute the message of Christ, but I can
Yeah.
change my sound
Your sound.
as consistently as I can. So even like right now, I've worked with the same producer for a couple of years, but right now I'm incorporating some young, different producers. And even my
Okay.
producer, he's got a school where he's training young producers, and he says he's learning new stuff from young kids
You
because
see?
some of these guys are listening to music he doesn't get the chance to listen to because he's always overwhelmed with different work.
Different
But
work. Yeah.
I'm working with young, different producers. There's a guy called the Young Boss who's been producing some of my new stuff, and
Okay.
he's just a joy to work with because I'll tell him what I'm thinking about, and then he'll give his own modern feel to it, and it's beautiful, man. And at the end of the day, I think I challenge a lot of different artists to try that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, looking at Abel Chungu, you have been signed to Nexus, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Hmm.
So Nexus is coming, as a bigger promoter in Zambia as well as
Yeah.
Kalandanya music promotion. But I want to talk about specifically to your label, or the record label. Is
Yeah.
it a record label? Yeah, am I right?
It is a record
Yeah.
label, my brother.
So you've been
Yeah.
signed to a record label, and that is Nexus.
Yeah.
So tell
Yeah.
us about it. Are we seeing Zambian music to another level?
Oh yeah, big time, big time. So one of the things I'll explain about myself is I went on a journey about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
After I said the last album was my last in 2018, I went to South Africa, met a couple of labels there, submitted my music. They loved it. There's music I haven't released yet, which I
Okay.
was trying to use as bait for bigger labels. And one of the things, my manager for that side, Kevin Stewart, he was saying, the thing about the labels there is, to their perception, you're big in Zambia, but they want you big in this country.
Yeah.
So they'll still give you that upcoming artist kind of deal.
Upcoming artist deal. Yeah.
So I said, "Ish, man, so it was a very back and forth until I found one called Africori, which also does distribution for Shoma Josie and Master KG.
Yeah.
Um, so great guys. They came out to Zambia and we had a meeting. They actually came all the way to the studio. Great, and I got to play them the stuff I was making. We had a great connection. So we got a distribution deal going. But then you see, even when you got distribution, you still need that other push. So then last year, KB calls me up, says, listen, there's this label, man. I think you need to hear them out. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm not interested in any. now I'm ready to bounce. I'm ready to
because
bounce.
Nexus has been in existence for a long time. I think I came to about Nexus. It should be 3 years ago. You know, it was.
So Nexus. So here's the thing. Nexus was there then, and then it shut down. And then he reopened it about a year ago, basically. I mean, the name was still kind of there in the circles, but it was gone. And then recently, just got really revived. When I got a phone call from Mr. Ngulube, and we sat down and we talked, and the vision I was sharing and what I wanted to do with my music and where I wanted it to go, and he understood it, and he was ready. It's like, listen, we'll facilitate that dream. Get you all the things that you need. And at the end of the day, I love that. I love that because, you know, when you've been in an industry for a while, I mean, some of the videos that you played, that's me in Uganda, that's in other places, but you want to consistently grow. And when you grow, it gives room for others.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have upcoming artists saying, you guys, it's just the same guys winning the awards all the time. It's just, you know what I'm saying? You really don't want that. And because we're not slowing down in terms of putting out great stuff, at the end of the day, we're growing in this market, but we also want to grow other places so we can pave the way for others. You know what I'm saying? So when having this on board helps me grow, so I can pull others with me and also give opportunity for other people to be in places that they never thought they would be. So it's been a blessing, man. It's been really great. I'm the first gospel artist to be signed on to Nexus. So, and at the end of the day, I next week we'll be in Copper Belt where we're judging a competition.
the auditions.
And I always tell people I say a lot of, and giving that insight to music from a gospel artist perspective, where you're on a label where majority of people are what you consider secular artists, but we still all get along and it's like a family. So, and I'm there to help any artist, because I think people sometimes don't know what to do with a gospel artist in a mainstream way. You know what I'm saying? How do you promote this person? What do you market to them? Whatnot? And I'm at least I'm there to be heard and say, no, this is what a gospel artist can be helped with, and this is how they want to. You have to have that sit down and say, what do you want to do? Who do you want to reach? Why do you want to do this? Because you get a lot of people who say, oh, I just want to worship God. Okay, good. Go and do it at church. You can worship God anywhere you are. But you want to sit down and record an album? Those are things now you have to be able to be honest with yourself and say, I want to sell my project and I want to make money from my project. And no, you shouldn't feel ashamed in saying, because at the end of the day, when somebody puts in money into a project, there has to be a return. People shouldn't demand, classy videos if they're not buying your album. So that is something you need to be able to communicate to your fans and say, buy this album. Stop pirating my music. Gospel music is some of the most pirated music in the world, like crazy pirated. And, and piracy being theft, and people are not aware of that. So, but when, in my position, I'm also chairman of ZAMCOPS, Zambia Music Copyright Society. So I know this stuff. And so when I say, you have to be, honest with people and saying, hey, please buy this stuff. If people invite you for concerts, you need to give them a quotation sometimes and say, this is how much it's going to cost. Because many times people say, oh no, come out and perform. They won't even say perform, come and bless us. They'll say, come and bless us. Come and bless us.
Because when they hear performance, it comes with the church.
Exactly.
Not knowing that everything has to come with the church. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come and bless us. Come and grace us. And you're coming to bless, you're coming to grace. But when you're making that music, some gospel music is some of the most expensive music to make because oftentimes we have to use live instrumentation. When the music that I've been working on we spent a whole month. I used my own money to get into the studio for a whole month. Imagine, with saxophone player, violinist, guitarist, and what, till the money ran out. We just played and recorded, toured as much as we could till that point. So I know the pressures of the industry and what it is, and at the end of the day, the more we realize that even though something is work or it's charging, it doesn't mean that it takes away the power, the anointing, or that God's not at work in it. So let's also really respect that. Yeah.
All right. So that is Abel Chungu. You know, he's been signed to the record label, and that is Nexus, which is a very good initiative that has been welcomed by many other artists as well as the Zambian industry itself. You know, this is how we want to see the Zambian music grow in such a way that we have big labels that are going to push Zambian music to another level. That is what we want. I want to see Abel Chungu come and perform in the O2. I want to see that. He can do it. He's got, you've got what it takes, man.
Don't turn it up, bro.
Look at the massive, the good videos you've had, the live performances we've played here.
Yeah.
What can stop you? All we need is people that are going to push the Zambian music and say, look, we've got good quality, we've got good content here. All we need is people to come on board and support it. That is what we need. And we see Nexus Calendar Music Promotion. I think we are going somewhere in the Zambian music industry. Thank you so much for Nexus and and everybody supporting Zambian music.
Yeah.
There.
All
right.
Thank you.
2019.
Thank you for the supporters.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So 2019, you made it. You made social media buzz like nobody else. Everybody was talking about Abel Chungu. Abel Chungu. Don't be curious. Wait a minute.
What did I do this
Hold your break. Yeah. So Abel Chungu, the gospel artist, comes out, boom, wins the most outstanding comedian in Zambia at the Ngoma Awards. Facebook, social media came to stand still, and they were like, Abel Chungu, which one? The gospel artist? Yeah, that's Abel Chungu. Really? He's a comedian?
Yeah.
And everybody was crazy now, starting to look up on Google and try to check up where has he performed. We've never seen him doing the stand-up comedian. Tell us about that. How did you get into this? You're so talented, to be honest.
Thank you, man. So here's the thing that about the stand-up comedy. So I started stand-up comedy in 2011. I just pray. I had a prayer to God. I'm just like, God, I have these gifts and talents that I've known are there from the time I was young.
Yeah.
And God just told me, like, listen, it took me the scripture about the kingdom of God and using your abilities and when he gives you gifts that you use them. I think we allow ourselves to be mentally trapped again. That I think trying to be accepted by society. Oh, if I do comedy, what will the people that have accepted me think? I'm just like, so I went for it. And a friend of mine, Chido, said, dude, you're the funniest guy I know. Because him and I would talk, that's our relationship is just built on jokes. So he's like, you're the funniest guy I know. We're doing this thing called Straight Up Stand Up with another friend of mine, Ali Nani. So can you join us? So we started, and it would be jokes after jokes. We went as far as Livingston. Another team called Night of Laughter came in, and we toured Livingston, Copper Belt, as far as Northern Province. And so the thing about it is that comedy theater is a lot like theater, there's Broadway actors. Okay. And there's that Lin-Manuel Miranda is not in any movie I can remember, but he's huge in Broadway. So it's the same way like comedy, stand-up comedy is, if you don't know the stand-up comedy world, if you don't follow stand-up comedy or go to the shows, you will think like, where did this guy come from? So people are used to a lot of Facebook comedy, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this guy You know, so everyone, the people were mentioning, like, but why? How about this guy? Why was it this guy? And none of these people were doing. Yeah, so it wasn't. These were not submissions from stand-up comedy. These were just people who are funny online or do skits, and people were saying, no, but that guy's funnier than it. But that guy's funnier than it. So I was like, hey, man, you know, for as far as I'm concerned, first of all, like just the nomination alone made me go, wow, like I actually nominated. So that night we had me and the two other guys who were nominated, Mwana Jingwala and Emmanuel MC. We all made the pact that guys, whoever wins, we're all going up front and you know together. And I was convinced that all of the guys would win. Like I was convinced. I was like, this guy's gonna win. I was even ready. When the lady said, and the winner is, I can even hear the surprise in her voice. Like
before you announce the winner, let me hold you there.
Yeah,
before you announce the winner, let's take a look at this video. But before that, let's have a look at the comments.
Go ahead.
Let's look at the comments that have come through from you know the people that are following us on Facebook as well as on YouTube channel. You know, Matic says, Abel, you have such a humble character. We don't see that in many artists. We appreciate you, bro. That is from Matix. He's based here in the UK. He's one of our DJs, and you know, there he goes. Kelvin Bazke. This one is a producer from Kawe, my elder brother as well. Thank you guys for the powerful and God bless. Filech tikamulile, sir.
Thank you. God bless you.
Your music evokes a certain peaceful feeling in me and draws me close to God. Etambuyu M governor.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, that's from our technical team. Great interview, guys.
Awesome.
DJ Blair Kami says, well done, together we can. And then we have another one from Daddy Cooks. He's our voiceover artist, this one.
Oh, nice.
Pali atipa pali wa mudala wa ebo. Pali wisdom manini. Elo chizungu delele so. Mawezi ya tele la chabe. Isetima tesemuna pokamba chabe ve. Yeah, is it because would it sound like it? Loving the interview, guys, from Daddy Cooks. This is Nums, our voiceover from Soul 9 Radio. Yeah. And then we have Charity back there again. She says, thank God for the people to save vision in us. DJ Kauzy, DJ Blair, I love myself, you know. I always say DJ Kauzy every time I say DJ. So DJ Blair says, yes, Kauzy, together we can, all two levels. Yeah, you see, people have started manifesting, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. And then classic Michael from Kabwe says, have you tried hard on trying to improve piracy in Zambia? But it seems like the Ministry of Information, I want you to answer that one when we get back. So I'm sure our director is ready for the video that I asked for. Let's have a look at this video and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit uncomfortable the way guys just walk out of the gym naked. Like, dude, it's a bit weird. I'm always in my towel, always covered up. But then I traveled to South Africa, and then I realized, oh, you know what? It's different. You better get used to it. I saw something in South Africa that I've never seen before. Every single time I've seen a gay person, they're always clean cut, clean shaven, nice shoes, always well dressed. For the first time in my life, I saw a gay beggar. Have you ever seen a gay beggar? No. I saw a gay beggar. And I was there by the traffic lights. I pulled up, and then he rolled up to me. I'm asking for some assistance. And he was very cool about it. Like, you know, most people that come at you, no, boss, I need the money. What? No, but this guy was very cool. I'm asking for some assistance. I'm like, bro, I'm just curious to ask, what do you need the money for? You know, things. I'm like, that's stuff girls say. I need some money. What do you need it for? You know, things. And at that moment, I was like, oh man, this is very different. Very, very chilled out. And the next thing I know, we started having a conversation. And then I had this weird moment where this car pulls up, cop car comes behind him. Boop, boop, boop. Hey, VC, what are you doing there? Are you soliciting prostituting again? I'm like, no! The last thing I wanted to do is to be reported from or being caught like, oh, Abel Chungu. I didn't know how I was going to talk myself out of that one. I was crazy.
There you have it, the stand-up comedian, right there. If you knew Abel Chungu as a gospel artist, R&B gospel artist, hip-hop gospel artist, there he unveils another talent. And he won an award. It's not just like all these Facebook comedians, but he won a prestige award. And this is the outstanding comedian in Zambia, 2019 at the Ngoma Awards. Wow, that's funny, my brother. I'm really like, when I watched that one, I also started looking up. I started looking up on your comedy. When I heard that, award, I was like, really? Okay, let's have a look. Let me just try and search for.
Is it really as fun yet?
And then when I found these videos, I was like, oh my God, he's been performing in South Africa already. And people in Zambia, they don't know about it.
Yeah, footage I don't even have. I'm not going to go and search for myself on YouTube. But what is this? Yeah, man, that is part of Night of Laughter, man. We had so much fun, so when I won, I knew that it was going to be a problem because, so I was sitting next to one of the guys from a TV station.
Yeah.
And they have a big following on social media. So he's sitting behind me. So as soon as I sit down, he goes, Abel, look at this. I just posted that you've won and look. And, have you ever seen comments like by the hundreds? Like increasing as you're watching. I'm watching like in a minute, like 40 comments, 100 comments, like in seconds. People are like, how? Where? No, Imwe, this thing is rigged. But the best thing, the biggest blessing, I'll tell you the biggest blessings, because I believe all things work together for good.
Okay.
And a couple of months before that, I was telling a friend of mine, Chinglis, who's the head of Night of Laughter, the team that I was part of.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, I really want to do a special. I'm like, I've been doing comedy from 2011. I said, I've never done a special. I just want one night when I can tell all my jokes. just like even for an hour. And he's like, okay, cool. And I'd been telling the guys for a while. I'm like, guys, let's do specials.
Yeah.
So then a friend of mine, HK, who I'd started with, calls me up and says, dude, do you know that we can do a special now? Like, let's just do it as we're challenging you. Would you take up the challenge? I said, yes, let's do it. And I'm telling, we posted up and we said Abel's going to be doing this. I think it was set for 26th of December that I was going to do an actual show. People came out. Some were even just like, we're going to see, let's see if he's funny. And imagine the pressure of this. Bom Kosha, who had been one of the adjudicators, had stood by his word. He said, listen, I believe this guy is funny. I'll even come and open for him. I believe, because people are saying, oh, the thing was rigged. You guys don't know how to pick comedians. And he's like, but no, this guy is going to deliver.
Yeah.
And he was one of the openers. The two guys I was nominated against, Mwana Jingwala and Emmanuel MC, were openers. And then we have Victor Bovics, who was the MC for the night. So you can manage after all of that, then everyone's just like, oh, is this guy going to deliver? And that was one of my most calm nights. Like, my spirit was so calm. I got up there on stage, and for the first joke to the last one, when it was done, it was a standing ovation. It was just amazing. And we can't wait to release that video for you guys to be able to see. But it was really, it was a great night. I had so much fun. I had so much fun that night, and people did. Yeah.
So now, how did you handle the social media buzz, from the fact that they were not expecting you to be a comedian and, carrying out that award or carrying out the day? And all of a sudden, they see Abel Chungu, Mr. Ichitemiko Chandi goes on on stage and collects the award. How did you handle the social media with people trying to justify whether is he truly a comedian? Did you react to that?
I think the only thing when all we did was I kept quiet and oh yeah, there was one post I made. Okay. So all I wrote was because I'm a Madrid supporter, right? So I think that year Messi had won Ballon d'Or. So I said all I posted was ask Messi to take back his Ballon d'Or first. And people were like, oh, there's like 900 comments in like 5 minutes. I was like, oh, this guy is cheeky because I hadn't said anything up to that point. So that's when. So the thing is, the way the show then started was it was an open letter from the Zambian public saying, Abel Chungu, we're challenging you to make us laugh. Since we don't believe that you're funny. So the only thing was we posted up the poster for the event, and all I wrote was challenge accepted. And the last joke of the night, I don't even know if I should give it to you as it would be a spoiler. The last joke of the night was so on point with that, because it ended on the whole topic was about accepting a challenge. So I can't spoil it for you because it's a brilliant joke.
Okay, so I'm gonna request this. this.
Yeah.
If you want it, you can do it for the sake of your fans, not for me, but even for me somehow. No. But we're gonna close. We're gonna close with one shot of comedy, laughter, and one a cappella or freestyle. Yeah, from your songs.
All right, so
we're moving on. We're moving on now. Let's move on because you're on my time, so we're moving on.
Yeah. Well,
okay. Now let's talk about. Okay. Cool. Finish. You're going into your time. No problem. Go for it.
No. I mean, check this out. So the joke was, I'll just explain it because when I'm in the zone, when I was on the zone that night, I'll just explain it. So I was basically trying to give. First of all. I was giving encouragement for people like, listen, guys, like you need to register with voters, we're going to the polls. Then I said, have you guys ever watched Black Panther? So I said, and people were like, woo, yeah, because black people, we just love that movie.
Yeah.
I said, in the Marvel universe, in that world, Wakanda is the most technologically advanced nation in the world. And this is the most technologically advanced nation in the world, and they select their leader through a fist fight.
Okay.
All their leaders do. The guys who are vying for leadership show up at one location and fight, and whoever wins gets the crown. Now, some people may think that's primitive, but when I think about it, imagine all the money we spend on elections and by-elections. I mean, we would save so much money if all we did was show up at Vic Falls and our political candidates showed up for a fist fight and whoever wins would take the day. So I did this whole narration from Black Panther. The whole thing when they're announcing like, who will challenge today? We, as the River Tribe, will not challenge today. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, and that's the first scene, and you think there's good. Then you hear that, then that whole Mbako, what are you doing here? It's challenge day. And he gives that whole speech. And now the problem is I changed that whole scene and I replaced it with all our political candidates. And I put the presidents of all these political parties and imitated them. And the last scene was with the biggest opposition guy coming out of the cave, and he's like, and everybody's like, what are you doing here? And dude, like the whole crowd at the same time just shouted, it's challenge day. And that's how I said, okay, I'm done, thank you. And that's how I said, and the standing ovation happened. It was a beautiful night. But when the videos are, people are gonna see the joke. It's actually
we're definitely
when I tell the whole story, it's good.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that. We're still hanging out with Abel Chungu. In case you're just joining us, it's Abel Chungu, the superstar right here. He's a comedian, he's an actor, he's everything. He's talented, so many talents. He's a He's a guitarist. Oh, come on. So many talents to yourself. Let's talk about now. So you said you discovered your talent in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, for comedy.
Well, no. So 2011 is when I started comedy.
So when did you discover yourself like you're funny?
My G, me. I mean, if your friend, the guy who started the whole comedy thing, is the one who first came up to me and says, "Hey, dude, Abel, you're the funniest guy I know, and we're doing this stand-up thing. Give it a try." And I think when you put your mind to it and you say, okay, let me actually sit down and write jokes, something I'd never really thought about, and said actually sitting down and penning down jokes to tell as a stand-up, I started realizing that the talent was there, the gift was there. And, I saw other guys, I gave opportunity to inspire other guys who are doing it big today, even bigger than where I am. And so it's just amazing, man. It's just when you put your mind to something, you try it out and you realize, oh, the gift is actually there. Yeah.
Awesome. You featured in Zuba as Anton. Is it?
Arnold, yes.
Arnold.
I've been meaning to use this accent and to believe that it's actually being heard all the way in the UK. So is it good enough? That's all I need to ask.
Oh my goodness! When I saw you, I was like, I was looking at you like, okay, this is the guy who grew up here and he goes back to Zambia and now he's trying to swindle people in Zambia. That was perfect. Trust me, it was amazing.
So
it was amazing.
Thank you,
Tell us
brother.
about how did you pick up the role of you being that crooked guy coming from Britain and coming to crook the guys in the house. It's also amazing. Tell us about
so they'd called me in to come and audition for a role. And the role, of course, was involved with somebody who gets looted, one of the main characters, into a gambling situation. And so when I read the script, I didn't like the role. I didn't like the role. So when I read the script, I was like, I don't think I can do this character. So they're like, oh, okay, but would you still like to try an audition? And funny enough, when I was driving there, I was creating this character in my head. So I was talking to myself in an English accent. I was like, I think this would be a great character. So when I auditioned, I did this monologue by myself as Arnold. Okay. And then they said, okay, try and do your thing with Lute. So we did a test run. And it just really flowed well. They sent it to Zambezi Magic. They're like, yeah, okay, cool, go ahead. And they wrote the script and built the character Arnold now from that audition. And I'd always told myself, I think I would love to do acting. I've always wanted to do it, but I just always felt like I wanted to do it well. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do something. I didn't want to say like, oh, Abel's music is good, but he's a terrible actor. You know what I'm saying? I never want. So I wanted, I wanted the same level where somebody comes and says, oh, his comedy is good, his music is good, and his acting is good. And so I wanted to pick a role that I could execute well, and I think I was really satisfied with the Arnold role. It left an impact. It was only for 5 episodes, but till this day, I still meet people like, yo, that was really good. Like, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? When are you coming back? So I'm just like, eventually.
This side we use Showmax. I don't know if you heard about that. And I just discovered it a few months ago. And, I was just trying to check on what's going on and just get onto the comedy and stuff to catch up in Zambia. And I came up with this Showmax, by my friend Mwila, who sent it to me. So I was like, okay, so there's Zuba, there's Pali, there's another one I go. So when I looked at it and I started watching, so I just watched your part like a few weeks ago. And you popped up when DJ Kandeke and JIO called me to say, oh, they want an interview for you. So I was like,
yeah,
definitely, I need him. I need him like, I don't know. So that's how I had to do my underground work, and I had to gather the data and here and there. And I said, "Wow, I'm set. I'm ready for you." Yeah, that was a good draw, and we are hoping you to come back. And we're hoping to see more of you in
I've had a
action
great
side.
time. Thank you. I definitely, I do. I'm hoping to come back, and I think I even gave them a pitch for an idea for what happens when I come back. So we'll see what happens.
When I actually saw you, when I actually saw you coming in, I thought, okay, this guy is now coming for Zuba.
I don't need to. No, trust me. There's too many guys vying for Zoa, and that's it. Like that, all the guys are vying for Zoa. Let Arnold get it. Arnold's there for the money, my G.
It was good that you didn't give us an idea of what you're coming to do, because like, for me, I was like, okay, I think he must come. He's coming for Zuba, this guy. And all of a sudden, I just saw you changing everything, and boom, we saw the Arnold guy taking people to the casino and swindling.
I know. Yeah. I know. I had fun, and that's the thing is, you give people something they don't expect, something different. And I think that's the fun thing. That's why I enjoyed the Arnold character, was to give something different that people wouldn't expect. Yeah,
it was amazing. I like the dress code when you're going in, and we're like, the money makers are in now.
That was fun. We had so much fun shooting that casino scene, man. We had so much fun. That much I can't even lie.
We're coming to the end of the show. I wish we could continue, but time is not with us. Time is not with us. And as we are wrapping up the show, just few questions. What would be your last encouragements to the young upcoming artist, or somebody that is having a talent that is hidden, but they don't have that confidence to come out and showcase it? What would be your encouragement to them?
Oh man, it's for why you have to ask yourself why you're doing it. I do. Somebody asked me, like, Abel, you do a lot of these events, like private events or corporate events, and I always say, I know a lot of people try to book me for their weddings, and I say, I make unforgettable music, so people will always want you for unforgettable moments.
Yeah.
And so as an artist, you have to realize that some of the music that you're gonna make is going to become the soundtrack for somebody's life. So make that music, put in your time and effort. I see a lot of young people get disappointed, or it's like, oh no, I'm not blowing, they're not playing my stuff on radio and whatnot. First of all, let people get good criticism as well. Find out why it's not working. But at the end of the day, how does your song impact one person? How does your song impact two people? Where does it start from there? How does it grow from there? Most of the most significant moments, it started with playing for one individual. When you realize that this is what I want to do, this is my passion. We played for one individual. It wasn't the audiences. The audiences would always make me nervous, even till this day. But the thing is, when you have that, then I think you're on the right path, and you have the desire to perfect it. Nowadays, with labels, I mean, we didn't really have this thing of signing, labels now that are offering so much on the table. The question is, you have to be able to ask yourself, what am I? I need to work hard enough to understand that this. I have to be able to something to give.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have to be able to make something worth giving. If people are gonna pay and say, okay, we're gonna cover all your production and whatnot. I mean, we had to pay from our pockets when I was coming up, but we've been an independent for a long time. So I'm saying, in a generation where it's now easier, it means that you have to work harder. Yeah. So nurture your talent, do your best, work on your vocals, learn a new skill, practice an instrument, and at the end of the day, refine yourself. So when the moment comes, all I can say is, when the moment comes, and it will, and the opportunity will show yourself, you will be ready. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abel Chungu. Social media handles. How can people get in touch with you? If you mind giving
Twitter,
us the social media.
On Twitter, It is at Abel. At Abel.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Give your social media handles in it's time for the challenge.
Okay, what do you mean?
Yeah. So what I mean by that,
okay,
give us the challenge of comedy.
But I've already done my comedy, man. I told you.
Go ahead, come on.
Yeah. So let's say Abel at Abel Musuka on Twitter. On Instagram, it's at Abel Chungu.
Yeah.
And on Facebook, it's I have my fan page is Abel C Musuka, and I'm now on TikTok. So apparently TikTok is a thing I have to mention now.
I know.
So that is at Abel Chungu on TikTok. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So good stuff. Yeah.
No, thank you so much once again.
But
Abel.
I just want to say to all my friends out there in the UK, thank you. Cheerio. God bless you. I heard you guys lost. Prince Harry has left y'all. So if y'all need a replacement Prince, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm Bisa royalty, but I don't know if that can work that side. If I can translate that royalty that side. But hey,
yeah,
I'm always ready.
All right, a cappella. If you want, you can give us an a cappella. If you don't want, it's all up to you.
Chivamu rehearsal for 3 hours. The way my voice is sounding. But anyway, I will do this. I will do this because
Brilliant.
God is so good. God
Amen.
has been so good to me.
Amen.
So I'm gonna do this one. Mueva vyale mfula no tulumbi, mueva puto muela mumakumbi, ni mueva kolonga nyempiri, amenswaya molala mumfimfi, amakasayenda na pamenshi, mueva kusho muliro kwa bulenkuni, mueva mpusushe na mumfimfi, mueva poka malomba, amalungu na kumweshi, Yawe muliva kulu, Yawe muliva kulu, Yawe muliva kulu, takwala umbinga imwe.
Amen
God
to
is
that.
so good.
Abel Chungu, thank you so much for coming through to
Thank
Soul
you for
Online
having
Radio
me, man.
and
Awesome.
the Weekend Unlocked show. We are really excited to have you on our show, and hopefully we will have you back again. You know, as you started your music journey with with Nexus Music. I'm sure we are hitting. We are really looking forward to have more music, more comedy, more action.
And less technical difference, technical problems like we've experienced.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, we'll get to that internet level.
We are getting there slowly. The world is changing. It's a world of virtual. Everything is virtual now. So yeah, big ups to yourself and you take care.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
From me and the Soul 9 team and my director Oscar Mianda, this has been the Weekend Unlocked show with yours truly, DJ Kauzy. Until next time, God bless you.
God bless you. Cheers.
Yeah.
K-Ami Music.
Yeah.
What's online? DJ?
Yeah.
K-Ami Music.
Yeah. If I told you my weakness, would you keep it a secret? Yeah. 'Cause when I feel defeated, I need someone believing. Yeah. You see, I need somebody who sees there's somebody in me. I don't want somebody to be just a body for me. I'm looking right deep in your eyes. I will not lose sight of the prize, baby. She gon' need me extra time. Put everything on the line. Pa no peneta fica, baby. Si pa ma sobera. She gon' need me extra time. Put everything on the line. Pa no peneta fica, baby. Si pa ma sobera. Na mutima wa vomela. Na mutima wa vomela. Tell me now what you feeling. If it ain't me, let me leave it. Can't be wasting no time, nah. Need to know if you're mine, yeah. You see, I need somebody who sees there's somebody in me. I don't want somebody to be just a body for me. I got my eyes on forever. I see us together for better, babe. She gon' need me extra time. Put everything on the line. Pa no peneta fica, baby. Si pa ma sobera. She gon' need me extra time. Put everything on the line. Pa no peneta fica, baby. Si pa ma sobera. Na mutima wa vomela. Na mutima wa vomela. I've got my eyes on forever, ever, 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 ever. Ungasunge we mutima wanga, ungavomele na banja yangu, ungakosenga kwa bwela drama, ungakarenga palibe drama. Ungasunge we mutima wanga, ungavomele na banja yangu, ungakosenga kwa bwela drama, ungakarenga palibe drama. She gon' need me extra time. Put everything on the line. Pa no peneta fica, baby. Si pa ma sobera. She gon' need me extra time. Put everything on the line. Pa no peneta fica, baby. Si pa ma sobera. Na mutima wa vomela. Na mutima wa vomela. Na mutima wa vomela. Na mutima wa vomela. She gon' need extra time. Put everything on the line. Pa no peneta fica, baby. Si pa ma sobera.
I stand with Eva.
I stand with Eva.
Do you know that in Zambia, young people serving their mother's sentences are the most vulnerable?
The Eva Chavala Foundation is an initiative that was formed in 2012 in Zambia. Its aim to look after disadvantaged and vulnerable children that the legal system has left behind.
Prison reform.
I stand with Eva because every child deserves a full chance to maximize their potential, irrespective of the mistakes their parents have made. I stand with Eva because we will not forget the children of the incarcerated and what impact this has on their lives.
Studies have shown that children whose mothers are sent to prison are more likely than their peers to have future problems. These include criminal offending, mental health problems, and drug and alcohol addictions.
Collaboration and unity are the way forward. I stand with the Eva Chavala Foundation.
So Online Radio stands with Eva.
There is power in collaboration. So Online Radio stands with Eva Chavala Foundation Trust.
We at So Online Radio stand with Eva.